Hello everyone, and welcome to State of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. This week, we had something planned, but we had to come up with a show about an hour and a half ago. So hopefully that still ends up being a good show. We're actually going to be talking about issues with servers, their populations, people transferring off of servers, and generally what we think about the problem and what's caused it to surface.
Is it really a problem?
Yeah, well...
That question will be answered tonight! Sorry. I had to do it. Sorry.
So I'm one of your hosts, Michael. I don't even care anymore. That's it.
I love throwing him off of his game.
Honestly, you didn't even throw me off. I just needed to sigh so badly that I deliberately screwed it up. So I am one of your hosts, Michael, Mr. Happy Poveromo, and joining me is that guy, whatever his name is, Sly,
no
aka
nickname.
Slythefox, aka
Whatever.
Sly, aka Greyfox, Sly, aka the Champ, Sly, aka John Cena, Sly, aka Grey John, Sly, aka Grey Cena, Sly, aka you, my boy, Blue. How you doing?
I'm good. I am good.
Oh my god!
Just had to do it. Just had to do it.
By the way, Mel sent you a Christmas card from both of us, but I'm sending you another gift, just so you know.
Oh God, I cannot.
Did you get it yet?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
I gotta see where it is, because honestly, it would have been great if you had it before the show tonight. But I didn't think there was a probability of that. That would have been phenomenal.
Now, what would have been really funny is if they showed up as you were doing the intro, and
you're like, "Oh no, that honestly,
ring the doorbell."
That would have been perfect. Let me see. Did they give me shipping information? Let's see. Your order has been received. I don't know that they actually shipped it yet. So yeah.
If it's been received yet,
yeah. You haven't got it. All right. So.
Nah.
Anyway, so a lot of people are probably wondering why there's only two of us here tonight. Mm-hmm. We didn't announce it at the end of last week's show, but throughout the week we've been telling people that tonight was going to be Erzivia.
Where I would lose by a point.
No,
again.
you would have earned the belt, and I would have been able to change my glamour. And you would have had to change your glamour.
I would post that in the it would sit in the foxhole. We would have a glass case and everything for the Subligar in the foxhole.
So you're going to put your character in the glass case because you got to wear it.
No. You
got to wear the belt, Sly.
We got to clean that shit first.
You're the champ, after all.
We got to clean that shit first.
No, don't worry. I wear underwear under it. Anyway, so turns out Ethis, about an hour and a half ago, he messages us and says he is ill. He can't even talk. Which at this point, it's like, why even try to fight through it if you can't even talk? But also, he had a lot of coughing. He was, he's just really sick. So we just, well, first of all, Ethis, feel better.
Yes. Send Ethis your well wishes, please.
Yeah, go to Twitter and tweet at Ethis, FFXIV, and tell him to get better because we want Erzivia. And tell him it exactly like that. Don't say get better soon, we miss you. Say get better, we need Erzivia. Just do it. So I was originally playing, and about an hour and a half ago, basically Mel and I went like, oh shit.
Now y'all probably saw this, but I was on my phone. Like those of y'all in stream, y'all probably saw this. I was on my phone, getting the messages, and then while I was fishing, I was silent for a few minutes because I was getting these messages. So I was like, yeah, y'all probably heard everything.
I didn't. I wasn't there.
You weren't there. No.
Yeah, probably better that way.
Yeah.
But anyway, we threw together a show, and it's actually the original show we planned for this week. I don't know if you knew that, Sly, but this was the original show. We just had to throw it together really last minute. And it was talking about servers and their population, people transferring on and off servers.
And I'm glad you brought this up this week.
Why this week in particular?
Well, not this week in particular, but just
See,
in general.
We would not have gotten to do the show for at least another 3 weeks.
But still, I'm glad you brought it up because this has been a topic that a lot of people have been asking me. I don't know if they've been asking you, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what the number one question on my stream is? Can you just open your party finder real quick so I can see what it's like there? Oh, man.
Now, see, that's a loaded question. It depends on what time you open up the party finder. Because
Sly, it doesn't matter what time it is. I'll always have more people.
Okay, maybe for Greg, but see, Behemoth works like a bar on the East Coast. I would say New York. I won't even say New York because New York is the state that never sleeps, but it's like an East Coast bar. At like 2 a.m., the last call. You're going to see a few things on the party finder. You're going to see a few things. After like 2:30, looking for static. Hunt party. That's it. You're going to probably see 2 or 3 things. That's it. Like, shuts down. It shuts down. It's like a bar. I'm just saying. Really?
Why an East Coast bar? You act like that a bar doesn't just do that on any other place in the world.
Because I'm just saying, East Coast, it's like, that's last calls. Last call is 2 a.m. At that time, shit closes down. Like, it doesn't matter if you're on West Coast and you're on Behemoth. 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you're going to see maybe 2 or 3 things on the party finder. That's it. It's dry. It's dry as fuck.
I'm just questioning the need to bring it into the East Coast. I just don't. I don't think it's relevant. I don't care.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay. I'm just saying, like, that's the time that shit shuts down on Behemoth.
Everybody's just like, last call for static.
Last call for runs. If you want to get in now. This is the last run.
Well, I mean, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, we kind of brought up servers because we were talking about server merges being a potential thing. Not because the game itself was lacking population, because of a lack of balance of where the population was. Listen, Sly, don't be salty about what I said about Greg 2-3 weeks ago.
I'm still salty about that shit. I'm still fucking salty because you wanted us to merge, and
I said I wanted you to merge.
Your exact words, Mike. What server do you think should merge with Gilgamesh? None. Nope. Touch Gilgamesh.
Don't fucking touch Gilgamesh. That doesn't help the problem.
But Mike, what would you merge?
Here, see, if you can merge Gilgamesh and Zalera, then the population wouldn't change. So that's the only way you can do it.
That's what I'm saying. Merging a high pop and a low pop server is not going to do it.
That's not a low pop. That's a no pop.
He makes the jokes, not me. Again, him, not me. I had my one last night. After that, no, nothing. Him. But I'm just saying, merging. I get it. Merging a high pop and a low pop server will do no good. Medium pop, low pop, sure. This motherfucker right here. Let me talk about this motherfucker right here. Merge Behemoth and Leviathan. Why? Motherfucker for what?
So it's a high pop server all of a sudden.
We're not already?
Listen, if you know how high pop Gilgamesh is, we don't get RMT.
We don't get RMT.
Listen.
Oh my god.
Do you know how important that is? We do not get RMT tells because they can't make characters on our server ever. When I log
How do you know they didn't exist already on Behemoth?
What do you mean? They get banned all the time. That's why WDDFGGGFJJ
Bank of a yada yada yada.
Last name LOLLJ.
Bank of PvP. Yeah, we know them.
They change the letter every week. That's why when I log on to Behemoth, I get 10 of those messages every minute, but on Greg, I get none in a 5-hour play period. That's how I know your shit ain't high pop. That's how I know your shit is medium pop. Because if I go to any other medium pop server, that same shit's going to happen. I guarantee it. Doesn't matter which you point at the face for whatever reason.
This is the face of somebody who wants to murder somebody. Talking about shit in medium pop. Listen, are you serious?
Just because you ain't get the double mooch. Don't be mad at me, all right? Just because you ain't get the double mooch, don't get mad at me. All right? All right? Don't get mad at me.
Okay.
All right? There we go. All right, so, more or less, the reason why we have a lot of these medium to low pop servers is because people keep leaving to whatever server they could be going to.
Right.
You know, they're in search of, the grass is greener on the other side. They're looking for better raid groups or better free companies, whatever the reason is. But
right,
I gotta ask Sly.
Mm-hmm.
You're defending your server over there and being like, we ain't medium pop, By the way, medium pop can be anywhere from like just above low to just below high. You're probably on the higher end spectrum.
What you trying to say? What you trying to say, boss?
I'm trying to say you're very close to high pop. You're like right there. The RMT push you over. That's what makes it high pop. There we go.
Okay.
So have you noticed people moving off Behemoth?
I've noticed people coming to Behemoth.
Sly.
Not moving off. No. This is
Sly,
not.
open your friends list right now. Tell me how many deleted
This is not biased. Right. This is not
Open
biased.
your friends list. Tell me how many deleteds are on there.
Oh my God.
I know you got the game open because you were just complaining 2 minutes ago about not
Fishing.
getting the double move.
Yeah. I know. But see, you can't base it off deleted. You really can't base it off.
No. That's one way because people.
I mean, you could, but it differs from person to
character.
person. So trying to base it off deleteds alone isn't really saying much.
People don't delete their characters unless they're leaving the server, and then that's what happens if they leave the server. Sly, do you have the controller in your hand?
Looking.
Glad that he does.
Looking.
Honestly, you'll probably only have 2 or 3 deleteds. Now that I'm done harping on you.
Wait.
How many people are on your friends list too? Because I'm at 200.
Next. Yeah, I'm at 200. No deleteds.
No deleteds.
No deleteds.
Wow, that's pretty.
And I get this all the time. Sly, I can't add you. That's why.
You know what I do? You know what I do when I have that problem? I look down my friends list, see who's not in a grant company. Because like sometimes people just make level 1 characters and you just add them and then that's
true too.
But
then again, I do look for deleteds. I do look for deleted every now and then, but it's rare. And I tell people all the time, I'm sorry if I'm full. I'll look for a deleted real quick. I might have one, and half the time it's the case, half the time it's not. This time it's not the case. No deleteds.
No deleteds. That's pretty impressive. I guess I picked a bad time to pick a fight.
I know, right?
It's funny because I just moved the character off of Behemoth because the queue times were such shit. As a healer.
What were you trying to queue as? Though?
A healer, as a white mage. I was like, I can't do this. This shit takes way too long. Went over to Greg.
No. You're trying to compare that to what you usually get on Greg.
My DPS queues are shorter than my healer queues. My DPS
queues are shorter than anybody's queues right now.
Yeah, the DPS queues have been pretty awesome lately.
Yes.
I'll admit. Oh, man. So, I mean, one thing that definitely helps Behemoth's population. I guess it's probably the worst server to pick a fight with. You got people like you, got people like Miz, Raze. A lot of the broadcasters are on Behemoth.
Come to Behemoth. We got beer and wings. Come on.
Beer and wings. He's got strippers too.
We got strippers.
And when he wins Aerosivia, he'll be one of them. Anyway, you got the gold suppleguard, dude. You got to show it off. So, do you think do you think that it's just that factor that kind of keeps Behemoth's population?
I really don't think it's the celebrity factor. And I preface this all the time when people ask me this. Sly, what's a good server to come to? Okay, I'm going to be honest. I might be a little biased in saying this, but Behemoth is really a good server. Not because we have me, Raze, Miz. Yeah, not because of that, but it's a really good environment. Like, I wouldn't have stuck here this long if I didn't think that Behemoth was a good environment. Like, I probably would have moved on to another server. I probably would have did the whole LeBron thing over again. Let me find a good server. Let me find a good server to move to. Hell, I might even move to Greg if need be.
You don't say.
I knew that was going to fuel him.
Oh,
but still, like, I wouldn't have stuck on Behemoth this long. Because originally, when I started the beta and when I started out, when I got A Realm Reborn for PS4, I was on Pamphlet for a little bit. And I was like, let me move servers. And then came over to Behemoth, tried it, and I've stuck by it ever since. So it, again, might be a little bit biased, but it's a really fucking good server. I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't think it was a good server if I wasn't here for this long.
I will admit I do openly recommend people to Behemoth because Gilgamesh is a hard server to get a character on. And I'd say that no matter what your plans are for the game, I'd say Behemoth is a place you can go. That's what I tell people.
Behemoth is a place you can go, but it varies. So I tell people, now the times might differ for certain people, but I say maybe if you're trying to get a character on Behemoth server between 7 and 11 a.m., and then there are times where you can randomly get a character on Behemoth outside of those low population times. when nobody's really on. It's the morning. Behemoth is more active in the like middle of the day to afternoon / evening and late night.
What happened to like an East Coast bar? Why wouldn't you just go after last call?
Those are the well
7 to 11 a.m. isn't last call, man. That's
not last call. That's early in the fucking morning. What bar is going to be open that early in the morning besides in New York?
But I'm saying, like, why isn't it just after last call? Like, why not after 2 a.m. Eastern? If that's on the Party Finder system.
I really don't know. But like I said, it varies.
The RMT are making their characters. Got it.
Oh my god. Here we go. Here we go.
I'm just being honest. Almost every time I recorded a Healer Happy video, I got at least 20 tells within the 30-minute video.
Okay.
Like, so, right. And it was just an issue. I'm not used to. It didn't happen to me on Sarg, and it didn't happen to me on Greg. So I'm just really surprised at how many RMT I find on Behemoth.
So now we got into Behemoth side of things.
Okay.
Let's talk about Greg.
What about Greg?
Let's get on Greg. Let's get on Greg for a minute. As much shit as you've been talking about Behemoth, let's get on Greg.
I don't have much good to say about Greg. I don't know if anyone thinks I'm about to say good things about Greg.
All right,
I have some good things to say. At least I can say we don't have any RMT.
But the thing is, with every server, and this is going to be every server, there are good sides and bad sides to every server. I tell people all the time, in terms of like maybe the rating community, I honestly feel like the rating community on low pop servers is a little bit higher quality than it is in some high pop servers. I mean, because you don't have it's a low population, so you're gonna get quality more over quantity. If you see what I'm saying. Okay, you disagree.
I hear you.
Okay, all right, speak. Go ahead. I want to get your take on this.
Well, I mean, it's just. Well, I mean, if we go back to like 2.0.
Okay.
There were a lot of quality raters across all the servers for at least what Coil's difficulty was offering. Yeah, I remember Sarg had plenty of groups that were great, and that's the server I was on until 2.4 pretty much.
Okay.
When I became, a person who left the server for Greg. Granted, I'll talk about that a little bit later because it's a bit different my scenario than the scenario that most people end up encountering. And even to this day, a lot of those raid groups that I've known back then, they still exist today. A lot of the outstanding free companies, Link Shells, it's not like they all moved to Greg. There's plenty of them across all the other servers.
Right.
I'd say that it probably came more down to the people who weren't already in those groups. That's where most of the people leaving for Greg seem to be coming from. Are not these groups that have been, lasting this long, and I could name 10 of them off the top of my head.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that's the big thing. Like, people looked to Collision, now look to Elysium. But it's like, that's not all there is. Like, I feel like that kind of blinds people sometimes. Like, there's a lot more free companies out there that just aren't Elysium. Seems like everyone's got their eye on Elysium, though.
And that's a good point. So, as players quit or move from, this group to that group, it seemed like Elysium had, y'all had the best fucking advertising or something in terms of recruiting top-tier players who can compete against other, top-tier raid groups like Lucrezia and things like that. Now, is this because the players that ended up in Elysium were better players, or did
they have some shitter called Mr. Happy, so that can't be it.
Yeah, or did they have the best strategy in terms of recruitment?
I think it came down to the way Elysium was formed. Elysium was formed from Collision, who had been world second for pretty long time. Final Coil, world second. They had been competing. The big eight, as I'll call them, Group One. What was Group One of Elysium until now. Pretty much established Collision as a known name. And when Collision said they're merging with Elysium, and the other half of Elysium were people that left from Death and Taxes like myself, that just created a name for Elysium immediately. I think that's the big thing that pushed it over. Because I honestly, I don't pay attention to recruitment at all. It's not my role. It's not my job for Elysium. So I don't involve myself with it. I think that it honestly comes down to that. It was the name Collision created for itself, and then Death and Taxes has been a staple name in MMOs since the early days of World of Warcraft. So
now I'm gonna take it back to something we were just talking about, like the whole celebrity factor. Like, not really just famous in terms of like Twitch or YouTube or anything like that, but do you think that that plays a role in terms of recruitment? Like, because people scout. It's been known that people scout for people for FCs, for statics, for everything like that. Does that play a role into it?
I was reading chat. Can you repeat that?
Motherfucker. But I was saying,
I saw Mel suggesting something, and I was like, shit, what did I miss?
In terms of the whole celebrity factor, we're not talking about Twitch or YouTube, but like people scouting people from server to server. Like, names get, like, you make a name on a server. Like, if you, you definitely, if you like a top DPS or anything, hell, you can look on FF logs and make a name for yourself. Does that kind of play a role into recruitment or how people move from one group or another?
Creating a name, if you get a negative name for yourself, a lot of people do want a fresh start. If you have a falling out with a group on your server, it can sometimes affect your eligibility with other groups on the server. Mm-hmm. So I guess definitely people wanting a fresh start is a pretty big reason. But I don't think it's the reason why we have so many like people going to Greg. I think it's something completely unrelated. Oh, that's what she wanted me. 90% of Elysium members came to be because Fold was your friend. Fold has been do you know I met Fold through Mel, because back in Ragnarok Online 2, and everyone can cringe at hearing that because I played it. That's where I met Collision, and she joined them after I had met her because she was in a guild that my friends created, Havoc, and that's how I met Fold, through her. That's how we pretty much met everybody in Collision, now Elysium, now whatever the hell they want to call it, because they're all doing everything, either casual or playing other games at this point. But yeah, I mean, that's another way that Elysium came to be, because a lot of that communication was there. Oh man, those are some memories. Oh god, at least I will say this, guys, in my own defense, my girlfriend, I met her in RO2, so the game was great for me. Otherwise, let's go back to talking about 14.
Yeah, we briefly mentioned a few names. Of course, Elysium comes to mind. Lucrezia comes to mind. Death and Taxes. What, like, for those getting into the whole, the raid race, the world first race, there has to be some names. Like, there has to be some names. I don't think
that's important. Like, I don't think it's important.
Why not?
Because any group of people can get together and compete for the world race. Just because a guild says they're competing, guilds that don't say they're competing end up placing well all the time.
All right, I get that, but there are household names that pretty much most people know. Like, you want to know
Blue Garter's
Blue Garter, of course.
Blue Garter is like that's the OG. I mean, they still hold the title of beat turn 5 before it was nerfed. The only ones who ever did it. Mm-hmm. That's a big one. And then they came from behind and stole the world first race on second coil too, just out of nowhere. Like, I mean, God, there's so many free companies. Even just on Greg, like, there's so many ones compete on Excalibur, on Hyperion. Like, I can name the servers. It's so hard to name all of the individual guilds because they're all. This next race is going to be a lot more interesting
for Alexander, the second tier.
For the second one,
okay.
Because all of these guilds that all have quality players on all these servers, to be honest, I think Group 1 was of Elysium was well and above, like, so many groups. Like, just because they had played together for so long, they were never, like, every patch scrambling for a new person and then I've just seen the way they work on the inside. Like, I feel that now that they're out of the race, it's going to be up to all these other groups to come up with some way to either, because Lucrezia's going to dominate. Right. Like, unless our group comes together somehow and becomes that, which is not something you can do in X amount of months that we've been together, or these other groups, like, haven't been replacing members, which I'm pretty sure a lot of the groups have been, Lucrezia is still Lucrezia. They're still going to crush everything unless all these groups come together and, like, match the quality that old Group 1 had. Like, I have nothing but the utmost respect for old Group 1. I have to call them old Group 1 because they don't. I don't know if anyone knows this. That group isn't together anymore. The old group that got world first on A3, A4 Savage, they're not together anymore. Some of them are playing different MMOs. Some of them went full casual. Mew just put a post on Twitter the other day that he went full casual. Fold went full casual. Nothing wrong with that. Like, obviously, it's the perfect example of a high-quality player who can call themselves a casual. Like, that's why the term casual as a derogatory term, I think, is stupid. Because they are now full casual and just in the same spot. And for those wondering why, we'll talk about that this show, too. Not specifically why they disbanded, but what was the crushing blow that is dealing this to lots and lots of groups. Like, yeah, they had to break up because of Fold's drawing skills. Just
oh god, god. Do you still have?
I have all of it.
Okay, good.
And I have my Mona Lenny too.
Good. I hope like maybe post show will get happy to show some. If you haven't seen Fold's drawings, they are amazing. They like you could put these up. Like these are really fucking works of art. You can put these up in any.
If you go follow Foldosaurus on Twitter, you will not be disappointed. If you like tank memes and an MS Paint, then you'll like Fold's Twitter.
Yes.
No doubt. If you don't have a Twitter, get with the times and go follow Fold's Twitter.
But a lot.
But okay, so let's answer the question. You know, what are the guilds people can look for?
Mm-hmm.
I would say don't even look at a guild. Look at a group that is advertising what you as a player want to achieve. Because a lot of people say, oh man, I wish I was in Elysium. Oh man, I wish I was in Lucrezia. But they don't really wish they were in those guilds because they don't align with their goals. That's what I feel. I feel like a lot of people see that. They see, oh my god, they get to clear this every week in an hour. It's beautiful. Okay.
Yeah, I could kind of agree with you there. And the reason why I say that, because with those like top tier names comes a lot of pressure. And see, I don't even think I could deal with that. Like,
in a lot of these guilds, if you do not perform, like people lose members every week, but the higher tier of a guild you go for, the more at risk you are of losing your spot to the next person.
Right.
You
know? And I feel like there's a lot of pressure with that. I'd have to be outside my mind or drunk or just like black
And if you
out.
were, you would never make it in that range.
Exactly. I would have to just black out and be in a fucking zone to even be like top tier. Like it would. Like
I like how Sly is implying that he's Jackie Chan right now. He's drunken master.
The drunken master. Yeah. He's
drunken master. 14. He's like, if I was drunk, I will be top tier.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
exactly.
Right
but like I'm just saying, like it's a lot of pressure, and like personally. Like normal Sly could not take that. I would have had to be fucking drunk as hell to take the kind of pressure that comes with being first tier. But to take it over a notch, in terms of recruiting for top tier raid groups, a lot of servers are experiencing like a dry spell, and I can tell you this. I can see this from experience on Behemoth. A lot of servers
can.
See, motherfucker. I knew that shit was coming. I knew. Because if you look on, you don't even have to look on the forums, but the forums is one place where you can see this. But look, any given day, look at your party finder. Look at your party finder.
Oh, you don't want me to look at my party finder.
Oh, please. You're not.
I don't have the game up right
now.
You're
not even on right now. Hold on.
Odds are it's about 22. Odds are it's about 22 groups in the party finder.
I can look mine up real quick. Let me look mine up.
Odds are it's anywhere from 22 to 26 groups.
Alrighty.
Right so if somebody's on Greg in the chat wants to tell us how many groups there are up right now. Go right ahead.
All right.
It is a Tuesday, so a lot of people are trying to get their first clears. Tuesdays and Mondays, people trying to do their clear at the end of the week. People trying to do their clear at the beginning of the week.
So Northern than Fate Party. Why? Thorn March Extreme.
27 and Greg right now.
Why? Alexander, of course.
Just give us a number.
1.
It says at the top.
No, you can't look at that top number because
there's not 10.
No, exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Eric says there's 13. You're counting too fucking slow.
6. Everything else is like Fate.
Oh, so you're counting the quality ones. Well, I mean, the thing is, I don't think we just have to talk about rating. We can consider like the Fate stuff too, because it demonstrates active gameplay on the server.
Okay, all right.
13.
So if you're gonna look at that, then if you're gonna look at everything, then
Eric in the chat says it was 13. Maybe
13.
if you refresh it, it'll be different now.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, 6 out of the 13. That's actually not a bad ratio. I'd say that it's a similar ratio on Greg between fates, people recruiting. I'd say Greg more than often has either people recruiting or people selling more than legit farm groups.
So let's take it down to the medium to low pop servers.
Okay.
It seems more and more difficult to kind of fill up statics on medium to low pop servers due to the fact that they're not as populated. What do you think?
It's not even so much that they're not populated. It's this mentality that everyone's been fed. Everybody, when I tell them, go look at your server, like, recruitment threads, whether it be on the official forums or Reddit, whatever, almost everybody they start and then they just hear that Gilgamesh has everybody. And they're like, all right, well, I'll just look at Gilgamesh's.
Yeah, I'll come to Greg! People
won't even look at their own servers because they hear that grass is greener in Greg, and they just look there. Some people don't even look. They just say, I'm going to Greg.
I still don't believe the grass is greener. Fuck you.
And I'll tell you more about that.
Best team is, goddammit.
That's led to something that's happening on Greg right now that may or may not undo itself in 3.2. So I definitely think other servers are dry spell, especially because a lot of them are missing a specific job. Like, I know that some people, I think we're mentioning Cactuar is having issues finding bards. I think somebody mentioned Leviathan was having issues finding casters. I've heard specific servers missing specific roles.
And that's the oddest thing that, like, well, Leviathan missing casters, but Cactuar missing bards, and it's the oddest thing I think of, like,
to think that an entire server is missing a job to fulfill that role.
Exactly, and with you saying Leviathan missing casters, I'm like, seriously? Really? Yeah. I can name a few. I mean, they're probably part of statics and things of that nature, but yeah, just to think like a whole server missing, like having a shortage of a specific job, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, and then see, MV says Behemoth's missing healers, more specifically. Probably one specific type of healer, but not like all healers.
To an extent, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I can agree with that to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, that seems to be the problem to me. It's not so much, it's just that people aren't even looking on their own servers. They're just looking at other servers. And the people who are looking on their servers are the people who have no experience, and that's the other aspect of it. It's not so much that there's a dry spell, of people with active experience, and we talked about this when we talked about the difference between NA and JP mentality when it comes to the party finder.
Right.
It's a compounding problem that people aren't able to get the experience, and the people with the experience are leaving for other places, and it compounds on top of itself. The issue just keeps piling up, and one day it's just gonna crash all over itself.
But then again, there's a second side of the coin with that problem. Difficulty.
Difficulty is a pretty big one. Yeah.
Difficulty is a pretty big one. We've gone over this, and you know my opinion about like how I feel about Alexander right now. Even though we did get the final.
I heard about that. Someone was telling me about that today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Progression.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real here. Like, I've watched groups stick it through all of Coil. They started in first. They did second. They did third. Whether they waited for Echo or not. These are groups that were able to stick through Coil are getting demolished by Savage. They are being broken piece by piece by Savage, and some of them can't even get past Tim. I mean, Faust.
Did you really just say Tim? I was like, wait.
Yeah, his name is fucking Tim.
No.
I have the image on my computer still.
Tim is what? Tim was the tank, right?
He's Faust.
No, Tim wasn't the.
We already Sly, when we brought the image on screen, we already established that Tim is Faust. That's why he's the only person without two names.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, but
Faust
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now,
well, so hold on. What is your perspective on this? Because, I mean, you joined the game. You joined a static. You took down all the coils. You didn't even care about the coils for the longest time. But when you decided you wanted to,
yes.
When you decided you wanted to, you found a group. And you're still with them.
I'm still with him. And I can be honest, I'm straight no chaser. There have been times we have been salty as fuck to one another. And this is going to be a lot of raid groups, especially a lot of raid groups who have broken up and, gone to do other things. Like, you're going to get salty as fuck. Happy. And let me ask you, how many times have
you didn't even answer my question.
No, I'll answer the rest of your question, but I just want to ask you, how many times between your group, have you gotten salty as fuck with each other before,
Oh my God. Man, let me tell you about our missed world third on A3 Savage. Let me tell you about salt. When two people die to a mechanic and you wipe with the boss only at 500 HP in the last 10 seconds, oh man, there are open wounds and just a whole salt shaker is going in there. Man, that was brutal, and that has happened a lot. Like that's what happens in hardcore progression is people kind of accept that they have the salt and they just need to not bring it up to get through, and then this events like that just cut it wide open.
And see, this is a top tier rating group we're talking about. We're not even talking about the people who just get salty on a regular basis. And like,
I do have something to add to that, though.
Okay, go ahead.
Because you're about to compare a group that is doing really well versus a group that's struggling. I would like to take note of the amount of hours before it hits that point, because I think that's more important than looking at how well the group performs. Because it's more like you hit a breaking point. Like, we've been doing A3 Savage for 100, 150 hours in the first week, or the first week and a half, and we hit that breaking point. That group that's not doing that well, it's probably the same thing. 100 to 150 hours, they're just not at the same point. It's all about the amount of time before you just can't keep it in anymore.
I mean, but at the same time, I feel like you can equate the two, because like with the world first race, all these top tier raiders, like they're going in. Whereas like more casual statics, like it's going to take some time to add up to the amount of time that you did to clear it. But before the like casual / mid-tier raiders clear that, they're going to get that, they're going to like log in that time and still have the same amount of salt that you probably have in the top tier. Maybe not the same amount of pressure because you're involved in the race, but at the same time, it's the same amount of time invested into it, and like people get fed up. I've experienced it. Like, people will get fed up. I mean, hell, our static had to come to a coming to Jesus moment. We had to have a fucking meeting. Everything.
Take the wheel.
Jesus, take the fucking wheel. There's even a command in our TS that says Jesus, take the fucking wheel. It's that bad. And like, when all I'm saying, and this is me personally, this is not Haps. Haps might have a different like feeling on this. This is me personally. Like, with any given static, no matter who you're with, like, changes are going to happen. A lot of changes happen to our static. That's why I wasn't even concerned about fucking World First, because people were off. Like, people had to go for work. Like, people were missing. We had to swap in people, swap out people, swap in people, swap out people.
I remember every week I would ask you how you did, and you'd be like, our tank wasn't here, or our bard couldn't make it
exactly.
Yeah, I remember that.
With that, like, I really can't get salty about that. I feel like that's something that's out of my control. Now, when like everybody's here and it's within our control to be able to clear content like this, then you and it's stagnant, then you kind of have the right to be a little bit salty. Like, you kind of have to dig deep, look in with yourself and into yourself to
Sly, I can't look into myself. I need a mirror for that. Even then,
motherfucker. But anyway, all I'm saying for like the mid-tier to casual raiders is, if you have the time invested, like, I understand assault. I understand completely. Just don't give up so soon. That's all I'm saying. Just don't give up so soon. Like, this tier of raid / Alexander.
Oh yeah.
Has broken a lot of statics, and I feel like a lot of it hasn't been merited. Like, I can understand if you put in the time. If you put in the time and then still have the salt, that's fine. Be salty. Be angry. Go ahead. I'll give you a salt shaker right here, motherfucker. Be salty. I'll give you a bunch of spices and you can still be as salty as fuck as you want to. And this is the weather I
garlic
need
pepper.
This is the weather I need for this fucking fish. Fuck you. But
Titanic sawfish.
Yes. But if you are just starting with a new static, or y'all are just starting out and y'all are salty as fuck to one another in the beginning phases, it's probably not going to mesh out. But I would recommend that y'all stick it out. Please, by all means, stick it out. Like, a lot of y'all probably don't even have a reason to be as salty as fuck right now. Stick it out.
One thing that's really surprising to me is I've seen so many stories back in Coil where people are like, it took us 5 months to beat it, and they were fine. I've seen so many stories about that with Coil, but with Savage, it was like a month of dealing with other people, and people were like, fuck it, I'm done. And I think that's because a lot of people read the internet, to be honest. They see.
So are you blaming Reddit?
Not directly. I'm blaming any sort of public, like, speak about it, because it's always like, oh, you know, you got to do this, you got to do that, this has to happen. If this doesn't happen, you can't win. This is the minimum required. That's become much bigger talk, and people, without even learning the mechanics, and I think Layla spoke about this on Frosty TV, where he's like, people aren't even learning the mechanics, and they're trying to do the same shit as groups that have been clearing it for weeks and weeks and weeks. Like, oh, we have to have
it's
this
not going to happen.
This person's doing that much more than you. Like, what the hell? Like, and they're totally not comparable things. I feel like Savage has brought that side of people out a lot more. Just they're that much more obsessed with the numbers because it's got those high requirements.
And see, I think I want to say that's a good side of Savage. Like, actually getting people to be obsessed about something within themselves. Like, now, we can talk all together about the difficulty spike. Like, that's a different thing. I think that's a bad side of Savage. That is probably the worst side of Savage, is the difficulty curve of Savage. 1, 2, 3. Like, the wall that is 3. Like,
it's more like 1, 2, and then 3.
3.
Yeah, 2
exactly.
is definitely below 1.
Yeah. Like, you can kind of like put 2 a little bit above 1, and then 3 just is a fucking skyscraper. Like, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Like, the difficulty curve when it comes to content, it's odd. It's a little bit odd to me. Like, we can go and talk about, like, not even just raid tier content, just content in general. We talk about primals. That difficulty curve does not exist. Here, down back to here, and then here. Yeah, exactly. It varies.
If only there were that many primals for every time I did that.
Exactly.
No one would be complaining about a lack of content.
Exactly. Like, the thing with the primals is, like, it's all over the place with primals. Like, the difficulty curve, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. But with raid, it does exist. It does exist. There are clear-cut walls, T5, T9, you know, T13, definitely below T9. And then we have this wall that is A3, and then probably A4. Like, I said it before.
A4, that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, that's a whole different topic. Once I get there, I can speak more on it, but I'm not gotten there yet because I'm still on this fucking wall. I'm still climbing the wall. We're still climbing the wall. But, yeah, like, the whole difficulty curve thing, like, if that existed, I think you would have a little bit higher raid retention rate than what you have now. Like, with the difficulty curves that we have now, especially in Savage, a lot of people are just giving up ghosts. Giving up the ghosts, said, fuck it, I don't want to raid. You know what? Fuck it. Fish and chill. And that's not me. That's not me.
I know that you're looking at that weather, Sly, and like, please let me fish and chill. I get the hint. Don't worry. No. I saw you pick up your controller, motherfucker. Stop trying to fish in the middle of the show.
Oh, God.
I know you want that Titanic song. Just go buy it. Fuck it. Just open up the United
Dude, I haven't done favors in a while, so I'm low.
So it's your fault, then.
It's my own fault. Like I might need to implore the United Negro Gatherer Fund This is my last gatherer.
Just someone walks up to you with a fish, and that's it. Close it again.
A gatherer. Again, I'm in Cape Westwind. If you're on Behemoth, I'm in Cape Westwind. All you need to do is go up, like, the fishing spot that's in Cape Westwind. I'm sitting down on Behemoth. I'm sitting down. You'll see me right there. Like, I'm sitting in the rain. I'm sitting in the rain. It's my window.
Yeah, there you go.
I can't stand the rain.
Is that Adele again?
No, Missy Elliott.
Oh God, Missy Elliott.
Yeah, I took it back.
What the? All right.
I took it back. I'm old school.
All right. I only know one song by her, and it has nothing. And if she's talking about raining, it's got a totally different meaning.
Right.
There you go.
But like to kind of bring it back. Now I might already know your answer to this.
Okay.
But would you be happier with kind of second or kind of final coil-esque raids? Because speaking personally, even though I don't like the difficulty spike, like the difficulty curve, I'm all right with this kind of difficulty, but just lead us into it a little bit better. That's all I'm saying. What would you say?
To be honest, as long as we don't have anything like A4 Savage ever again, I'm fine with it.
Why would you say that?
Well, A3 Savage, while it was definitely... That's the highest I'd ever want to see them take the difficulty. I feel.
Okay.
I want to see them take it in more unique ways. A3 Savage, while it's a great fight, it combines a lot of ideas that... I mean, it's hard to create something completely original in an MMO nowadays, because it's all... There's only so many ways you can test a character before it gets gimmicky, where you need to, like, have cannons and shit, or gobwalkers, for example. The thing about A3 was beaten in the second week. 6 groups beat it. Elysian Group 1, our group, Blue Garter, Lucrezia, Synergy, and I can't remember the last one's name. Synergy was on Greg. So, I think that its difficulty was well warranted. The fact that it was clearable in the first week. It just had 0.5% left with the group 1. And then it was beat by 6 groups in week 2, and then it got better and better as the weeks went on. It's just a testament to doing it with less gear versus doing it with adequate gear. I'd like to see more mechanics that adequately test the roles of healer and tank. Not just because I think
as opposed to testing
the thing
gear.
is, the thing is, I don't want them to stop testing healer and tank DPS, but to instead create mechanics that test them within their own roles.
Okay.
Because I think that would bring more variety to the raiding scene than it would demand for strict DPS numbers. I just don't want anything like A4 Savage ever again. First of all, it wasn't fun. It wasn't even hard. It was tedious as fuck, and it was boring. Like, that was the biggest thing. And then you get to Nisi, and before you knew about the strat, it was like, what the fuck am I going to do with this thing? You know what you got to do with it, but even just the slightest slip-up, while I love that kind of shit, it just was not fun to do with Nisi, because we were progressing with Nisi until we found out about the Lucrezia strat, and then, of course, everybody fucking hopped on that. And it was just, I just don't want another fight like A4. I think A4, with Nisi, harder than A3. As soon as you remove Nisi, a million fucking times easier with a harsher DPS check. Yeah.
I want to stop you right there.
Yeah, because Coldy basically just said what I said in the chat. And Coldy, by the way, guys, was the bard in the World First group, so take his opinion for exactly what it is, like fucking experience.
When I was talking about the salty as fuck part of raid, like my raid group is sitting, like, meanwhile I'm sitting on a cape, like on a cliff in Cape Westman. My raid group, I'm looking at my chat right now, like, Fox, just say that your raid leader and his co-leader are the saltiest motherfuckers on earth. They are. They are the saltiest motherfuckers on earth. But altogether, we are salty. I'll go ahead and admit that.
Sly, aka Slythefox.
You're welcome. There you go. Sinka, Karn, you're salty as fuck. I don't give a shit. And you're racist.
Yeah. It's just that... I find it hilarious that both the strategies that involve passing a mechanic to somebody else, Square Enix fucked up. Like, I don't know how like, I feel like we're going to see it again, not in, like, a 5 through 8 or whatever, however many bosses we get, but we're just going to end up fucking seeing that mechanic again next expansion, and they're going to fuck it up again.
Because they recycle mechanics.
But the thing is, how does that exact mechanic get fucked up twice, where it's cheesable? But it's not even the passing of the mechanic that's cheesable, it's the fact that it's the fights that they're in that people find a way around never needing to do that mechanic. Like, I just think that's fucking hilarious. Like, it's just
okay, all right. Let me give you a perfect example of that. T5 dive bombs versus
T5 dive bombs.
T13 dive bombs. Two totally different things. Same mechanic, two totally different things.
First of all, if we're gonna go down that route, turn 5, walls on fire, dive bombs. Turn 9, walls on fire, dive bombs. Turn 13, walls on fire, dive bombs.
I mean, I get what you're saying, same thing, but like, same thing, same mechanic, different ways of utilizing the mechanic, though.
I mean, ultimately, I want to see them not fuck up a passing mechanic, but...
And I forgot T9 dive bombs. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I said turn 9 dive bombs, motherfucker. I wasn't even listening to me. I said it before they did. This motherfucker ain't even listening to his co-host right now. Anyway, I just can't wait to see them fuck it up again. Like, they're gonna do another passing strat, and that boss is gonna, like, just stop moving or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be like, here's the mechanic, and only do that, because I have no confidence that I won't fuck it up if I start doing other things.
I just don't want to see Protean ever again in my life.
I love Protean Wave.
I fucking hate that shit.
Oh, man.
As a melee, I hate that shit. I really do. All right, so we touched on the savage problem, the difficulty problem in general, which leads us to, and Happy's gonna love this, problem number 2.
Problem number 2. What's problem number 2, Sly? You've been leading up to this moment the whole show.
The mass amount of people who are going to
Gilgamesh. And that doesn't sound like a problem, but it is.
I want to know this from you, from a person who's on Greg. What makes this shit so special? Do y'all have fucking beer and wings that we don't have on Behemoth? What the fuck is so special about Greg?
Okay, so first of all, Gilgamesh was originally, let me see if I can recall Gilgamesh's history. So Gilgamesh was originally the unofficial Reddit server. Oh, no, I'm sorry, was the official Reddit server. That was the first thing that happened. It was also the official RP server at one point. Then Collision and Death and Taxes.
Before Balmung?
Balmung is like the unofficial one. It's one of the two. Okay. Like, it was alongside Balmung as an unofficial, like, designated RP server.
Okay.
Then Collision and Death and Taxes were there, so they got a lot of attention raid-wise. So a lot of raid groups started moving to there because there were quality players there. But at that point, it was entire free companies moving to get a better pool of players. It was a different exodus than we have now, and I tried to avoid using the word exodus as much as I like it, because there's a fucking server called Exodus, and it confuses the shit. Look at that. Sly doesn't even want to listen to the topic. He's busy getting drunk over there. He's like, I gotta chug this before we go down to this path.
Yeah, let me open another one. Keep going. Just keep
going.
So,
and just over the time, like, that pool of players has begun attracting more people. So that's just what it is.
So you admit, in a way, it is kind of the celebrity that attracts people to Greg.
It's not like it's when you say celebrity, it's not me that attracts them to Greg.
No, I'm not saying just you, but I'm just
because you said celebrity, and I'm the only one of, like, the Dream Network. Fold is there too, but he's casual.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, the celebrity in general, because it's not like there's not just you, there's not just Fold. There's a lot more people on Greg.
Yeah,
there's like Greg has this, and we'll talk about this in a minute.
It's all the stories.
Factor.
Almost every story you hear about an endgame raid group comes from Greg.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's like how people go to what is it? Hollywood. People go to Hollywood.
The Hollywood effect.
I'm gonna, that's where all the talent is.
I'm gonna move to LA with like $2.50 to my name and my bank account. I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
Like, no.
It's the same exact thing, but with a server.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is, it's not like these people end up in these groups. That's the thing that's really, really weird. People just go with no plan at all. Like with Hollywood, they just go to fucking Gilgamesh, and they're like, "All right, I heard this server's great. Okay, I'm here."
What now?
What do I do?
And that's the next point I want to make. So what happens with those people? With the I got $2. No. I got 2,000 gilts in my name. What the fuck I'm gonna do?
Can't even buy food with that.
Like, of course you're on Greg. Like, are these people the 2,000 gilts in my name? Are they forming their statics? Like, what are they doing?
No, they ain't forming no fucking statics over here. They're looking for statics. That's the problem.
So that's the problem.
That's the problem. People are coming to Gilgamesh, and they're not making more groups. They're just trying to fill the groups that are already there.
Wait. I want to stop you right there.
Okay.
Stop you right there. What have I been saying?
What have you been saying? I don't know. I don't listen to you very much.
Yeah, you don't. That's the problem. That's one of the problems right there. What have I been saying to mainly newcomers?
Oh, you mean how I've been telling newcomers not to come to Greg? I tell them to go to Behemoth.
No, what have I been saying to newcomers?
I don't know. What have you been saying? I told you I don't listen to you.
Of course you don't. And you hate every time I say this.
Okay, say it, so I can hate you for it.
Use your words.
Oh, use your words. There you go.
Use your words.
Okay.
Use your fucking outside.
I didn't realize you were applying that to this.
Yes! It applies to everyone!
It applies to everyone, but I don't think it applies necessarily fully in this situation. Because
yes, it does!
This isn't a matter of use your words. This is just a matter of take responsibility. That would be the word.
Okay, those would be the words I would use. I get that at the same time. But closed mouths don't get fed. If you want a static, use your fucking words. If you are coming to a new server from you move from a low pop server to Greg. All right, let's say that. Like,
okay,
you came from East Bumfuck, North Carolina. You moved to Hollywood. Good job. High five. You want to join a really good static. You want a really good raid group. But you see all these, famous raid groups. You're not going to make it overnight, first off.
Yeah.
If you want a raid group, if you don't see anything happening, make it happen yourself. Use your fucking words. This is an MMO for a goddamn reason. Use your words.
See, the thing is, okay, so let me compare the situation that I see most often.
Go ahead.
When I left for Greg, I was on Sarg. I had left my group because I didn't feel that our ideals were the same anymore. That was what I was saying earlier. I feel like you have to aim for a group that shares what you want to accomplish. So I started looking around. I applied to a lot of the big names because I knew that just by reading the recruitment thread, this is my goal, and eventually got into Death and Taxes. And I transferred over after I had already established a group that I was going to be joining. And I made the active effort of doing that before I moved. I even did keep looking for groups on Sarg, but I didn't look for just Greg. I looked
So you were
everywhere.
double dipping.
I looked everywhere. I made sure that I wasn't just narrowing myself down to one place I wanted to go. I was like, I got to end up on Greg. No, it was these, I applied to BG, I applied to Death and Taxes. Mm-hmm. I didn't actually apply to Collision because I knew the hours that they were working the Raiders back then, and at the time I wasn't okay with it. It's changed now. And I was like, fuck that. I have seen what that shit does to them, and I am not doing that. It's changed since then, thankfully. But I made myself a plan, and I was forward thinking. Most of the people going to Greg now are not forward thinking. They're just going and hoping that it works out. And a lot of them have no raid experience. And while Greg is probably an okay place to get it, a lot of people on Greg are in the two fuck-ups and you're out kind of mentality.
Right. And see, this is what I kind of wanted to bring up next. It's kind of down south we call it Hasidity. Well, down south, like tri-state. We call it Hasidity, meaning you think your shit don't stink. And do you think that a lot of people are, because of this, a lot of people are becoming quote unquote elitists? without that experience, they're thinking, "Hey, I'm on Greg now. My shit don't stink. I'm good. I'm good.
I think a lot of people come to Greg.
Taxes. I can join Elysium. I'm good. Let me try out."
No, I don't think that's the case because I hear people all the time who come to Greg say, "I know I can't do that." I think the bigger thing is a lot of people look at their old raid groups and they see everyone else as a problem and not themselves. Like, it's still the same mentality, but they don't take responsibility for what they themselves were incorporating into the raid group, why it wasn't working. Was it just the healer who refused to DPS? Was it just the tank who missed his cooldown? Was it just the bard who was pulling less than enough DPS? Or did that person who left for Greg with no plan have anything to do with it? And somebody else pointed out in the chat that the other issue is that, you know, there are less groups on other servers that will start from scratch. I very rarely see on Greg groups starting from scratch. I don't think the experience is any better on Greg to get a group with no experience than it is on another server. There's more people, which is obviously an advantage, but I never see like starting brand new static for this and this. I see maybe one of those a week. And I see them filling slots 2 weeks later for people that didn't make the cut the first time. So I don't know.
Like with trying to make a new group, and I can't speak on this because like I can only speak on our group, like filling and filling and filling. But trying to make a new group, it's not going to be instantaneous. And that's with any group on any server. Trying to fill a new group, it's a Herculean task. First you have recruitment, then you have tryout. And you've already spoken about like trying people out in terms of like how they should do it. The kind of
I got tried out. Everybody who's joining a group gets tried out.
Yes. Like trying new people, like trying a new group in particular, it's not an overnight thing. You're not going to get a group. Like I would love to see someone get a group in a week and see the matriculation of it.
See, I got lucky. I got my group in Death and Taxes in a week, and then went in and cleared turn 10 to 12 with no experience.
But what about the following weeks?
Following weeks were all spent on 13.
So that you're saying that's the exception to the rule.
Yeah, I was definitely an exception. I remember going in and being like mad nervous. Like I went in and the whole time I was like, am I doing all right? Is it all right? Am I in? And then finally, it was funny because they were just like, we had just beaten turn 12, and I was like, so, I mean, I'm just kind of curious, how's my trial going? Like, no, you're in. It's fine. If you're here right now, that's it. If we made it all the way past turn 12, you're good to go right now.
Yeah, like a lot of group, and see, that's an exception to the rule. A lot of groups are going to matriculate differently. Like, you're not going to get the same experience as Haps, of course.
It was pretty funny. I just remember, I will never forget the night that I joined the raid group that I'm in right now. It was just so fucking funny.
But going back to what I was originally stating, the problem with the people with the kind of elitist attitudes thinking their shit don't stink because I'm on Greg. I got here. I made it to the show. You didn't make it to the show. You just made it to a server. Congratulations. You got there because somebody got off or somebody deleted a character. You got there because somebody deleted a character. That's all I'm saying. That's my joke.
There you go. That's never a problem on Zalera. Anyway. It's just never a problem. That's a compliment. I promise.
It's a joke.
It's a promise.
Anyway, will this problem like cause a shift to another server? Like, do you think like? Okay, let's take Greg for example. Will it cause a shift, like somebody to shift, like say, fuck it, I don't like Greg, I'm going to Zalera. Let's use Zalera as the example.
I hope Zalera has a world progression group next patch. Like I really do.
Wait. Are you saying that?
I really hope it.
You really hope that?
I really hope Zalera, because as soon as that shit happens, Zalera's population is gonna fucking skyrocket. I guarantee it. I really hope it happens. I don't think this is a problem that just goes away. Like, that's like, I don't really have a good analogy for this, but
Zalera was my analogy. That's two. That's two in 1 week. Two in 1 week. Half has made like how many jokes about Zalera?
I make as much jokes about Zalera as I get RMT tells on Behemoth. Yeah. All of a sudden, it doesn't feel so great, does it?
All right. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh man. I don't think this is a problem that just goes away. I want it to, and I'm hoping that what happens is these people that are not finding groups on Greg eventually look back on other servers. Stop just looking on one server because you hear it's a great place to go to get a raid group. Keep your mind open and look at all the servers. For the love of Jesus, please. And the other problem is that this is not creating more people with experience in raid groups. And this, again, goes back to NA versus JP. That's the biggest problem, is that groups are looking for people with experience, and the people coming to Greg don't have experience, and nobody's getting anywhere.
But how do you think that would be solved?
Because we're talking. Okay, it's not even people making their own groups. It's people without experience being willing to fucking bite the bullet and join a group that is actually where they belong, and not lying about their progress and shit just to try to get into a clear group.
Okay, but just to kind of take it back to us to a personal level, we get asked this question on a daily basis. You probably get it. I probably get it. What can we say to people? Because, again, I can only be biased towards my own server. I don't know about Mateus. I don't know about Zalera. I don't know about Cactar. I don't know about Odin. I don't know about any other server. I don't know about Greg. You know about Greg. You don't know about probably any of the other servers.
I know about Behemoth, too.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
But,
and like, Sark, sort of.
You can only speak more to servers that you've been on. We can't speak more to servers that we haven't.
I have a character on Zalera. It's the only one there. I actually think I do have a character on Zalera. I'm like 99% sure I made a character on Zalera.
Y'all motherfuckers get mad at me for making Zalera jokes.
Here's the thing.
Y'all get mad at me for making Zalera jokes.
One thing that's great about Zalera is that if you ever wanted to like make a character and save its appearance, you'll always be able to do that if you make a character on Zalera. And I think that's what I did.
But speaking to the servers that we don't know, what is the solution for like to telling people like where to go? Because honestly, I want to give an unbiased answer to people. I want to tell them I want to say like I don't want to say anymore. I hate to be biased, but Behemoth is really good. Come to Behemoth. I want to give a well-balanced answer to people who say, "Hey, I'm looking for so and so. Where should I go?" Like, what would be the solution for that kind of question?
You ask people who are in your chat. The problem is, when I ask people in my chat, they say, I fucking hate my server every time. And it's like, that's not good information. That doesn't help people join your server.
Okay, but at the same time, telling these people to go to so-and-so server, they don't like it. Of course they can make an alt on another server. That's fine. You can make, like, if you have the whatever subscription, you can make alts on however many servers. That's fine. But for the people who want to, have a server they can call home and don't feel like paying the $18 to make that server transfer, what do we tell those people?
Fucking try for once. Just try. Just don't go to where everybody tells you to go. Just try and make it on a server.
This is the thing I'm trying to alleviate, though.
But the thing is, we can't keep telling people about our servers. Like,
I get that. We can't keep telling people, like, hey, come to Behemoth. I love Behemoth. It's awesome. I'm completely biased in saying that because I've been here for however many years. But
so then tell people to ask people in the chat. And the thing is, the people, I think it's not even the people like us who get in front of a lot of people.
Okay.
I think it's the people who are in the chats and that tell those people to recommend our servers. Like, people need to start recommending their own servers and start pointing out positives on their own servers. Because the servers can't grow if you keep telling people that your server is shit.
But not every server has like a bunch of positives to outweigh the negatives. Like, not
there's only like 2 or 3 servers that have any positives, but but you can't keep telling people to not go on servers. If you keep telling people to not go on servers, people are never going to go on other fucking servers. There are people who come in and like lollies right now with Adamantoise. Everyone come to Adamantoise to get nothing done. Like, we can't have that.
And see, Jabs brings up a good point. What's wrong with saying Behemoth is good? Come to Behemoth. There's nothing wrong with saying that.
There's
Jabs.
nothing wrong with it.
There's
just like I can
nothing
say
wrong with it.
Gilgamesh
I
is good.
feel bad. That's what I feel bad because I feel biased because I've been there for like 2.5 years. I've been there. I love it there. But I want to give people. I don't want to like give them a biased answer because I've been on Behemoth. Like there are a bunch of servers. There are a ton of servers like NA, EU, JP. Like you have your pick. The thing is, I don't want to give them like a biased answer. Say only come to Behemoth because we're that damn good. Like no, like people should like want to join a server because of what they think about a server. Like you should be able to. I feel like you should be able to try a server. Like just try it for a little bit. I know that's essentially what having alt is for. Like try a server. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, just fuck your alt. Fuck whatever you do.
I just read the best comment in the chat that said, "Come to Zalera, we have more houses than we do people." Or house plots than we do people. I couldn't help it. I had to laugh at that one. It was so beautiful.
Whoever made that joke, you are worse than both of us.
That would be Riblet.
You're worse than both of us combined.
That's a good one. And honestly, that's a big demand. A lot of people are looking for houses right now.
That's better than any joke that me or Happy has ever come up with.
That was State of the Realm savage right there. That's what that was. This has been a savage episode of State
Holy shit.
That's a good joke. And those jokes, by the way, do not help Zalera get a better population. But the thing is, someone might hear that and
you think that with all the jokes we made about Zalera, it would have be
that they would have just turned the server off at this point.
No, not even saying that. It would have got a lot of
people would go there to spite us.
We have advertised Zalera.
We're advertising your server,
in the worst way ever, but we are advertising Zalera.
But see, now people want to go there and see if it's just as bad as everyone, and all of a sudden it's flourishing.
Yeah, it's going to be a mid-pop server. No.
Whoa, calm down. It's nowhere close to being on Behemoth's level.
I feel like that was the joke. Shut the fuck up.
There we go. That was the joke.
Oh my god.
That was the joke.
Okay. All right. So
where are we on the show notes? I don't know.
Yeah, where the fuck have we at? We have derailed so many times.
No, we're on topic. I just don't know what topic we're on.
Okay. So to kind of bring the show back to earth. Happy.
Okay, what's up?
How many people do you think will just take the bull by the horns and attack the problem, quote unquote, by trying to form their own group? And wait, I'll take it even further.
Okay.
If these groups are formed by, just random people who move from bumfuck North Carolina to Hollywood, Gilgamesh, how many of these people will even apply for these groups, do you think? Because these are just no-name groups.
I think we have more people that will try to make their own groups than people who will join those groups. Because even if they're people with the same amount of experience, they just want to hop into a group that already has the experience. Like, that's what I see more often. That's what I see as one of the cores of the problem. It's not just people are going to Greg. It's not just Savage's difficulty. It's that people want to get it done. And they don't care if it means they have to lie about their status and try to join groups and then cause a ruckus on it.
Can I take that even further? Don't lie about your status. Please don't. Please don't. Because people will find out eventually. People will find out. Like, if people try you out, they'll find out.
And I get this. I mean, we also have to talk about, I guess, groups breaking up, too. Because, I mean, man. Like, you know how many times people come to me and they say, hey, man, listen, we got this one member, and he's a really nice guy, but he sucks. Like, he does like 900 DPS as Dragoon, and his name is Sly. No,
I knew that's where you were going, you fucking
I actually
asshole.
didn't think about it till right that second.
Right that second.
Yeah, I was like, oh, what if I just turn this on Sly right now?
No, okay. I can give you one further because someone came to my chat with this kind of conundrum. I have a DPS. He's a Dragoon. He does 300.
Okay, first of all...
Wait, no. As a level 60. 300.
Sly, I want you to know
bring up my shit anymore.
Auto attacks
Don't
are like
even
240.
try to bring up my shit anymore. Like, and I don't know who this person's name is. I don't know. They just brought this up in my chat. 300 DPS as a Dragoon.
I mean, from 1 to 26, all you learned how to do was impulse drive. So he obviously thought he learned how to play the whole job. So he just thought like, wow, I love this job. This is something I could get into. All I do is press this button. Fuck all these other buttons. Impulse drive, impulse drive, impulse drive. That's it. 300 is literally just auto attacking. Yeah, I would have to mean he's literally either dead and contributing nothing or auto attacking. That's the only way you can do 300.
At 60?
At 60. Ice mages do 700 to like 800. Come on now.
Yeah, I've seen.
Man. Yeah, like that question comes all the time too, and it's like you try to tell the person, oh yeah, you just gotta like come together as a group and try to work together, and that story always comes back as, so I tried to approach the guy and he said go fuck yourself, and now everyone in the raid group hates each other and we quit. Like, I don't know how it comes down to one person not doing their job to an entire group falling apart instead of replacing that one
I think
person.
it's from person to person. Honestly, I think it's from person to person because we had this talk. I think it was Adagio who said it, like with the constructive criticism. You have to be able to take constructive criticism. That's the thing. Like, I'm highly critical of myself, and a lot of people are highly critical of me. Like, I take it constructively, but at the same time, I take it personally too. So it kind of combines to the best effort, and I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm religious about my number. I want my number to go up every single fucking time. If it doesn't, I need to know fucking why and how I can improve that. Like, not everybody's going to take the same outlook on their own job.
Nope.
Not everybody is. A lot of people take it too personal. Like, look at yourself personally. Look at yourself personally. Don't look at other people. Don't look at other people. Don't try to blame other people. Look at yourself. Think of ways to improve. Ask people. I'm going back to what I say. Use your fucking words. Ask people. I'm on PS4. I don't have my own parser. I ask people to parse me. Parse me, please. If you're not doing anything, come to Plot 14, Ward fucking 5. I need a parse.
Plug.
Thank you. Sorry. I'm just saying, come to Plot 14, Ward 5. I need a fucking parser. Tell me what I'm doing. And I ask.
All right. By the way, if a bard is only doing 300 DPS, they can't even auto attack anymore. So that's an even bigger problem.
Bard? I brought this on. Hold on. Let me get on bars for a second because I had to get on my bard. And this was a joke. This was a joke that he made. Sly, I'm doing more than you. Get good, scrub. Motherfucker, you cheat.
Motherfucker, I'm in the Gobwalker. You can't call
No. I'm not even talking about, like, A2. I'm just talking about in general. Like, let's take, for example, A3. Motherfucker, you cheat.
How is he cheating, Sly?
You get to dot everything.
Okay. Well, that's not cheating. That's playing his job efficiently.
He said the same goddamn
I
oh, fuck you. I don't take that argument. I don't take that fucking argument.
That's like being a ninja in A2 Savage.
Tell me about this. How many times can we use fucking Gear Skogel? In a rotation. He gets the cheat.
Motherfucker, that's what Doomspike is for. What are you doing right now?
And killing my fucking TP? Are you serious?
Tell the bard to play that shit. He's only doing 300.
Killing my TP? Killing my TP over fucking... yeah, he's doing his job properly. I get that. He even said it. I cheat. I'm sorry. That's how I get
that's like comparing a ninja in A2 Savage to a summoner who's fucking Tri-Disaster baiting his dots. Like, there's no point in even saying he's cheating.
Exactly. Like, you're trying to compare two different types of DPS, and he's naturally going to have over you because, quote unquote, he cheats. Just saying. He cheats. Put him single target. See what happens. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let's talk about the two hands, by the way. I mean, don't get me wrong. You could try Disaster Bane ads in A3 if they're like grouped up, but you can't rely on that. Like our Black Mage flares off the tornado in the center of the room for the last 4 ads, just so he can hit all 4 of them.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's efficiency. That's not cheating.
But you're talking about a mainly single target rotation versus somebody who can cheat, quote unquote, and dot up everything. Okay.
So I think you need to get good. Like,
motherfucker. All right. All right.
Ultimately, I think a lot of these issues just compound, and then everyone comes to Greg, and we're like, we don't have there's no groups here for you. Like, we need groups are looking for experienced people, and you're coming here with no plan. It all comes down to that. It doesn't matter who takes the bull by the horns, like you said. It all comes down to the fact that the people who don't are still trying to get into the groups of people that do, and it's just a clusterfuck, man. This is why I don't think we'll see this problem in 3.2.
Okay.
I think they're going to bring it back to coil difficulty, and all these fucking problems are going to disappear. I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna bring Savage down to coil, and then I think at some point, Square Enix will hire like 1 extra dude to work on fucking middle ground difficulty, and then they'll bring Savage back to the way it is now.
I disagree. I
think they're just gonna go fucking ham, and they're gonna remove it.
I disagree. I mean, I understand that Square sees that a lot of teams have struggled with the A3. I understand that.
They could nerf it tonight for all we fucking know. There's a patch after this. There are people afraid that Thornton and Savage are going to be nerfed tonight. Please don't. I don't think they will, and I don't think they have to. I'm
still on A3. Please don't.
Remember when I used to say I don't think they'll add Echo? I think they're going to add Echo in 3.2.
Please don't.
In 3.2, I think they're going to add Echo.
Okay, so I have till 3.2.
You got till 3.2. Like, I am so confident.
I'll take that. I'll take
the way they're talking about Savage and how... like the way they're like, oh, we kind of want to bring it down, but we don't want to then not have the hardcore stuff. Like, the fact that they're even saying that just tells me there's going to be fucking Echo at some point.
This is what I'm saying. No, I don't want the help. I want to fucking struggle. I want to struggle. We want to clear it with the current difficulty that we have. We don't want no fucking Echo. We want to be able to say that we did it pre-Echo, pre-nerf. We want to be able to say that shit. Don't do it. Drizzy, 2015. Don't do it.
And a lot of people are talking about how, like, how am I supposed to get good if no one will even let me into the raid group? That's what I'm saying. Join the raid group that says they're learning, not the raid group that says that they're going to fucking clear it, even though the guy who made the party is probably lying in the first place.
Exactly. But then again, the problem is the patience with those types of groups, though. You have people who make those groups, get people in the group, and then the salt just keeps rising and rising and rising. That's what we talked about earlier. And that's what I'm saying, like, with groups like that, like, and this is not to sound elitist, but y'all have no right to be that damn salty. You ain't been together that damn long. Like, if you've been together for some time and you still haven't cleared, yes, I understand. Be salty all the fuck you want to. But if this is a newly formed group, like, okay, better question. What would be the amount of time? What would be the time limit for any group to be salty like that? A new group to be salty like that? Let me ask you that.
I don't know. More than fucking 1 week. At the very least.
1 week? You're giving 1 week?
I'm saying more than 1 week because that's all people are giving it at now. I gotta fucking.
And see, that's the problem, and that's what I think the problem is, because that's too short of a time. Like, if you're talking about a new group who fully develops 8 different people, like you're creating.
And I guarantee you, right now they only give each other a week. At least give them more than a fucking week.
That's what I'm saying. Give them more than a week. Like, there is no right for salt past a week. Are you serious? If anything, a month. That's a safe assault. Like, I feel like that's a safe time limit before all the salt hits. Like, you have enough time to get used to each other. Yeah, a month. 4 weeks. 4 weeks.
And I like this question too. Sevzone asks, what about people who have deep rating backgrounds in other games that come over and want to raid? I have a friend who was in a top 10 rating guilds back in Vanilla WoW. He was one of the, I think he was either 6 or 8 of the groups that finished Naxxramas before the Burning Crusade patch was in the game. He was hardcore as fuck. He came over to 14, meant nothing to anybody. It meant literally jack shit.
Trying to translate other games to 14 it's not going to happen.
The reason it doesn't happen is because you know how to play that game doesn't know how you know how to play this game. It means that you have the mentality to be a raider, but that only means something to like half the people. Like I value that. If somebody can show me proof that they did that, and then you take them to a dummy and they can prove they could do the DPS too, at that point they're valid. I don't care if they have no experience. That's how I was about to say. But the majority of people will say it doesn't fucking matter.
I was about to make a comparison. I'm not going to do it.
And he did this with Burning Crusade. He did it with Wrath. He was in the progression for like all that shit, and he came over to 14 and he wanted to do fucking first coil, and he could not find a fucking group because he didn't have the raid experience in Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, and I was seriously about to make I was about to pose a comparison to you for that, but I'm not going to do it.
Well, for me, I'd say I played 11. That shit doesn't count. That's what I say all the time.
Yeah, that's true. And like trying to take someone from WoW or Rift or anything over to 14, I don't feel like it's a fair comparison.
I think it's a somewhat, because if you have the mentality, if you're trying to prove to somebody, I am a raider. This is my proof. This is my background. It matters. But you still need to know how to play Final Fantasy 14.
And it's not just that.
That needs to be called into question. If you can prove that, I'll fucking hire you in a second. Like, I don't give a shit. Yeah, like Collision proved that. Collision fucking dominated RO2 for the whole, like, 2 other people that were playing. Mm-hmm. That was me and Mel. And then they just brought it over to 14. And like, okay, we're going to fucking, do what we do in this game too. And they were perfectly fine. They learned the game because they had the right mentality. And the thing is, they all came together as 8. Like, they came together as a group, as it was. They didn't, like, all come over fragmented and then try to join groups and whatnot. It's a bit different, but it's just, I agree. I agree with Mel. Like, if you're good at one game, like, if you're good at one MMO, unless you're, like, going from, like, I don't know.
So I'm going to be good at Black Desert. I'm going to be good at Devilian.
Sly, I mean, exactly. I'm going to be good at Devilian. Let me finish my point. I was about to say.
I'm going to be good at Blue and Soul. I'm going to be OP in Blue.
Sly, you're not even good at 14 yet. You need to conquer that first. Burn. If you're going to take it to that point, I got to take it to the next point.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Zing. There we go.
Sip my tea.
It's. Oh man. So everyone in the chat's like, ouch, nice. Oh man. Okay. But anyway, as I was saying before, you decided to rudely interrupt me and then demand that I burn you hard.
Motherfucker. Asshole.
It at least means you have the same determination. Doesn't mean the skill necessarily transfers over, but if you had the mentality to do it in one game, you have the mentality to do it in any game. Because that's the kind of person you are. So you can easily accomplish it across another game as long as you're willing to put in the same time and effort you put in. A lot of people come over from another game, don't put in the time and effort, and just expect their history to carry them. That I don't agree with. But if you put in the time to learn the game properly, and you have the history at the same time, it shouldn't be an issue for you to get to the point where you can play the new game at the same efficiency you played the old game at. You doing all right there, Sly?
Sipping my tea.
Just sipping your tea.
But we can safely say that there's really no set solution to these quote unquote issues.
No, everybody start playing like the Japanese servers do. There's our solution. Make it happen right now.
So hop on a Japanese server.
No, don't do that because they won't play with you. Don't do that.
I was about to say that too.
They're not gonna fucking
right
play
out of
with
my fucking mouth.
They're gonna be like JP only, dude. Like I'm not fucking around with these language barriers right now.
Sorry. So unless you were like an NA person or an EU person who knows Japanese, they probably still won't play with you. God damn.
Even if you know Japanese, sometimes they won't do it because you got that Western attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it all comes down to that.
So,
oh man.
God. Oh wow. So there's really no one set solution to this issue. This is going to be a constant issue. Carrying over to the next patch.
It's going to be a constant issue if Savage doesn't change its difficulty. I think if Savage changes its difficulty down, then you're going to see less of this because people won't need to go to another server to find raiders. I don't want that. I just don't want another fight like A4 Savage ever again. Because that fight was boring as fuck. It wasn't even that it was like Nisi was hard, but the fight was boring as fuck at the same time.
You heard it first. A4 Savage, boring.
Just give us more shit like A3 and I'm perfectly fine. But what's going to need to happen for middle core raiders, which are the number of people who say
let's go sip my tea.
There we go. The number of people who say like there's no groups, like no one's raiding. It's a lot of the thing is there's plenty of people playing, they're just not raiding is the problem. A lot of people play 14 for leisure. But it's a more approachable if it's a lower difficulty. I don't want it to be a lower difficulty, but I don't want, I don't want people to mass leave the game because they can't find anything that interests them either. Because I love the game. As much as I love raiding, I love the game.
So Happy, do you play for leisure?
What the fuck is did you say if I perform fellatio? What?
Wow.
What did you even just say?
I asked if you play for leisure.
For leisure? You said ask if we play for leisure. That's what you said the first time.
Wow.
Yeah. No. For leisure? No. I play other games for leisure.
This motherfucker just said fellatio.
That's what you said.
No, the fuck I didn't.
Shouldn't have mumbled it.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, man.
All right. But still. So... I can't. You took me off my damn game. Fuck you.
Oh, that's what you get for the opening of the show, Sly.
Okay, fine. Take it. Take it away. Take it away.
I just want to see people happy, for lack of a better word. If I have to be less happy, that's fine. But as long as more people are happy, I'm okay.
That's it.
And by the way, Leisure Suit Larry and Fellatio kind of go together, as the chat is pointing out. So.
Oh my god.
Just pointing that out, so we were still pretty close topic-wise.
So, Happy, where can I find you?
Oh, we're done?
Mm-hmm.
I was just getting warmed up.
Oh, fuck you.
Motherfucker, I'm supposed to let you sign off first.
You go first.
I go first? Wait, but what are our overall thoughts on it, Sly? What are your closing thoughts? Those were my closing thoughts. What are your closing thoughts?
Difficulty spike.
Do we want server merges? Do we gotta bring that
back? No. Don't bring me on that. Please don't bring me on that again. Difficulty spike.
That's it. Just the difficulty curve. Yep.
Yeah. Like, work on that first, because we can all agree that with primals are a different monster. Raid itself.
Don't fucking nerf Thornton. It doesn't need to be nerfed.
Thank you for saying that, because somebody was asking me that like yesterday. Like, should Thornton be nerfed? Sure, Thornton should be nerfed. I'm like, no. First of all,
what about Mega
Thornton isn't. I think Thornton weapons aren't going to be relevant. Period. So
we might get gob dips tomorrow. Sly.
That's why I'm saying that. That's why I'm saying that, because Thornton weapons will no longer be relevant, but still people want their Thornton clears. But yeah, don't nerf Thornton, please.
And yeah, there's literally been no word of them ever saying they were going to nerf Thornton, but everyone is fucking convinced it's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. It's too soon for it. Like, this is going back to like a few weeks ago. I get what they were saying with them saying that people who have cleared Alexander Savage have no problem clearing Thornton. And I get that. I've cleared Thornton. We've cleared it. We've got our weapons.
But you didn't beat A3 and 4. That's the thing. They said the people who were struggling with 3 and 4. We
haven't beat A3 and A4. And we got 6 daggers out of the fucking equation.
I finally got mine last week for my ninja, but my ninja on my main is now pre-diadem best in slot. And it will probably never be post-diadem best in slot. That shit is not fucking happening.
No. But I still don't want to Thornton nerf. No. And this is coming from someone who has cleared Thornton. Let me ask you real quick. Just quick yay or nay. Thornton nerf, yay or nay?
No, fuck that. He's the best primal they've ever made. Hands down, the best primal they've ever designed.
You heard it.
Yeah. He
Now,
okay. Blows the
right.
load out of the water.
I'll take a last addendum to the question. In terms of the difficulty curve of primals, where does he sit?
Difficulty curve? I mean, if you consider the wall, the thing is, everyone's going to put Titan at the top because you could permanently be removed from the fight. Even though Leviathan, you could permanently be removed from the fight. People throw that aside, like Leviathan was pretty easy. But I think he's the hardest primal they made, like, of just the, like, extreme modes. Like, and I think he's the best designed at that. Like, just don't fucking touch him. And it's disappointing that they said he will probably be, like, way harder than the primals than they're going to be doing after him.
Would it be bad if I said that he was a little bit easier than Titan?
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Yeah.
I feel like. Okay, Titan was really no DPS check in Titan.
There was an enrage. He had a hard enrage. It was really hard.
I
to hit,
never saw it though.
Enrage.
That's the thing. I never saw Titan's enrage. I feel like I stuck with Titan for the longest time, and I feel like a lot of newer players who are fortunate enough to get past Titan.
Did they ever nerf Titan Extreme? I don't think they did. I don't think they ever nerfed it. I think they just echoed it eventually. I'm pretty sure they never touched it.
Does that count as a nerf, though? Would you count that as a nerf?
Not really, because you could turn it off. You can't turn off a nerf. You can't say, fuck it, go back to the fight the way it was before. So if they never nerfed Titan Extreme, they never
consider how many people actually turn off the nerf.
Unsynced. Yeah, that's how they nerfed it. Unsynced.
Yeah, unsynced. That means you get through Titan EX in how many minutes?
So you can get through them in like 3 minutes without it being unsynced. You can probably get through it in like 2 minutes with it unsynced, just because you're forced to do certain phases and shit. So you're forced to wait on the jumps.
Everything.
Yeah.
Goddamn phase. And people will still get knocked off.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. I thought you were asking for a high five.
No, I'm just saying. I'll be the one.
People, damn dragons. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't want them to nerf it tonight. Remember, guys, the patches tomorrow.
You want them to nerf it?
No, I said I don't want them to nerf
it.
Okay. Why would I go through that whole rant and then change my mind right at the end?
Yeah, I didn't hear the don't. That's why.
Yeah. Because, I mean, tonight we have probably some quality of life stuff. We have the anima weapons coming out tomorrow. I'm going to be grinding them all day on my alt first, so I'm not going to skip the first step. Because I'm a good YouTuber. I'm a good YouTuber who wants to see what the first step is like so I can tell people how much I fucking hate it. And for everyone who says they're excited about anima weapons, you're fucking lying. Because by this time tomorrow, you'll be like,
this is my first real relic. This is my first real relic. I'm actually doing it. I'm doing it.
Why is that a reason to be excited? You should be dreading the moment.
I don't. I'll probably be drunk.
You will be.
I'll be drunk during this. So I don't.
This time tomorrow, you'll be like, fucking.
No. Tomorrow, I'm gonna be completely fucking drunk. I'm going to be chocolate wasted. It is chocolate wasted Wednesday tomorrow.
It is.
I will be chocolate wasted tomorrow for this. Yes.
Sly will give up by day 3. I like
it. Waka, woo, Donkey Kong. Okay, go ahead.
I like Keeg saying you'll give up by day 3. Granted, he's been leveling fishing, so...
Yeah, I haven't given that shit up because it's my last gather. It's my last one. And I haven't fished this whole entire time, even though it's been killing me. God damn it.
They're going to use law tombstones, by the way, Sly. I fucking guarantee it.
No. I don't want to. I don't want to hunt. I don't want to.
I said law tombstones. I didn't even say Centurio seals.
But you can get law that way too.
Yeah, but that's not the way I would fucking do it. You know how I would fucking do it? I have 2,000. I don't have to fucking worry about it. Unless we end up needing like 27,000.
Well, that is true. That is true. Hold on. I should have 2,000. I hope.
Sly won't last 4 hours. I hear if you last longer than 4 hours, then you're supposed to go to a hospital. Anyway, there you go.
He made that joke, not me.
It had to. If they said any amount of hours other than 4, it wouldn't have popped into my head. All right. Well, all I can say is at the end of all that, those were all my thoughts on, what is happening with server populations. I still think merging the lower pop ones together, or merging lower pop with medium pop or something like that, would be beneficial.
Don't you dare fucking touch Behemoth. Oh, okay. In the words of Hap, don't touch Gilgamesh. In the words of Sly,
touch it.
In the words of Sly, Behemoth is fine. We're good. Don't touch us. We're fine. You could put my ass on a brochure and I'd be fine with it. For recruiting to Behemoth. We're fine. Come to Behemoth. We got bare wings. Yeah, but but don't touch. We don't need to merge with nobody. Even though Hap said we should merge with Leviathan, which is the dumbest idea.
No, merge with Zalera.
Hap, where can they find you?
I didn't even get to finish my thoughts. You cut me off.
Yeah. I'm cutting you off right there. If you keep telling us to merge with Zalera, I'm gonna cut you off.
Show is up. Listen, you want some bad jokes about Gilgamesh? Have you seen our RP? You don't want to. You go to some random corner in the hinterlands, and all you see
where can they find you?
All you see are two Lalafels.
Where can they find
without
you?
their shirts
on the internet? Where can they
talking
find
about
you?
a long shaft?
Where can they find you on the internet?
They can find me at Mr. Happy 1227. I'm pretty much everywhere: Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. All that good stuff. Not in the corner of the hinterlands, thankfully. You can't find me there. I usually AFK in Idleshire, the irony. But definitely not in the corner of the hinterlands as a Lalafell without the shirt on. You will not find me there. I can guarantee it, and if you do, it's not me. Okay? That's it. Just remember, it's not me. I promise. It's not me. Sly, where can they find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Sly, aka Greyfox. You can find me on Twitter at Slythefox. You can find me on Instagram at Sly, aka Greyfox07. You can find me in Behemoth, Plot 14, Ward 5 of the Lavender Beds. You can find me currently, right now, on Behemoth, in Cape Westwind. And, oh, wait. What time is it now? Okay. Anyone who is on Behemoth, that comes to the stream, and gives me a Titanic sawfish, I will give you 5 million yen. There you go. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I reset my microphone because someone said it was low, and then I talked to you for like 2 seconds. Yeah, this beggar over here. Swear to God.
5 million yen.
5 million
5
yen.
million yen.
That's a stream currency, by the way, guys. Don't mistake it with Gil, something that's
yeah. Don't
really
mistake it
valuable.
with Gil. That's my stream currency.
He doesn't even have 5 million for himself. Do you even have 5 million yen in your own stream?
What's that? 4,100,000.
You can't even fulfill your own promise.
I can fulfill that promise. Margaret can give them to him. Margaret has like 18 million.
How come Margaret has less than like 10 of your viewers who are in the top 10?
Like Margaret, she is the bot, but people give the bot money to have more than me, which is odd.
I used to have more than you.
Yeah, you did.
Should fix that.
Yeah.
Anyway, everyone, we're going to move over to post-show. Thank you for joining us on today's show. Next week, we'll be talking about our experiences with the anima weapon, as well as the Scholasticate side story quest.
Hopefully, we will have our anima weapons. Yeah. That was a good one. Yeah. I was being real about that because...
No.
Yeah. Fuck you. All right.
All right. On that note, we'll see you all next week. And then don't forget, next Wednesday, we have the next live letter. And will be Well, he won't be. Marco will be translating.
Marco will be translating, and next week
and then the following show will be about that. So you guys get all the hot scoops.
That's not the important. That's not the important part. Next week is Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Why don't you wish them a Merry Christmas at the end of next week's show? Because now, like, you're gonna have to.
Some
say
people
it again
might
anyway.
not be here next week.
They'll be here. They'll be on YouTube.
If you're not here next week,
I'll see you next week, guys. Bye.
Next week, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We shall Merry Christmas. Sorry.
Should have kept going.
Yeah, sorry.